Hey, what's going on, my friends? How are you? Oh, my goodness, 1 minute late, and probably could be a whole lot more because I am having trouble with a piece of equipment, this thing right here. And so I'm sitting there getting set to start the show, and I'm like, okay, I just got to get my sound clips that I want to play. And all I got to do is hit a damn button, and then it decides it wants to puke on me. So that sucks, and I'm really annoyed by that. But I'm going to figure this shit out. So, okay, here we go. This show comes to you from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. It is the 6th of April, 2021, and the Eric Zane Show podcast, I think, begins. Who do I want to go to? Now. No, it doesn't. Oh, shit, this is embarrassing. Fuck. Begins now.
This is Bob from Grand Rapids, and you're listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast. If you're new to the show, this is a guy who will make you laugh and make you cry. Some days you'll want to hug him, and some days you'll want to punch him in the face. But most importantly, if you disagree with something he says, don't worry, he'll change his mind in a couple of days anyway. And now here he is, Eric Zane.
Well, Bob, I appreciate it. The dynamic sounds. Bob, are you what, 18, 19? I can hear it in your voice. Well, welcome. Hope we're doing okay. It is warm temperatures here in Michigan, and that has your old pal Eric Zane very, very happy. Seriously, it is. It was like 70 degrees yesterday. And it's much the same today. It's even warmer today. So this is awesome. I'm really happy about this. It's actually, this is the time of the year where it should be like 50-something degrees out. But not at all. It's freaking warm. So I love that. Every time it warms up, though, I'm like, okay, is this like just, is this a fluke or is this global warming? Is this something that I should be concerned with? I mean, seriously. All right. So, yeah, nice day today. Hopefully it is where you are. I know that, my God, if it's this warm up here in Michigan, you know that down south, Tennessee's like in the 80s. People are sweltering, for God's sake. Okay. Hope things are going well for you. Hope you're safe. Something has popped into my head because I've heard people talking about it in passing, and that is vaccine passport. Have you seen stories about vaccine passport? Now, I don't know shit about vaccine passport, but that's never stopped me from talking about things before. So let me just say, I don't know anything about it, but I'm fully in support of it. Which will surprise none of you when I say we should all have a vaccine passport. They should make it where you can't even leave your house unless you have your vaccine passport and it's up to date. Like, they should have people patrolling around neighborhoods, and if you leave the house and they walk up to you, papers. And if you produce the papers and it says that, you got a green stamp and the check mark, then they go, all right, carry on, go to the next checkpoint. I would say that would be acceptable. That wouldn't be inconvenient in any way, shape, or form. I think that is appropriate. And I tell you what, that's an easy way to nip this thing in the bud. We should have done this to start. Okay, it should have been pandemic hits. First of all, this is the first thing that should have happened. Pandemic hits over 1 year ago. Trump should have said no one can leave their home. You've got 2 days. You've got 2 days to fend for yourself. 2 days of freedom. Get whatever you need to get, and prepare to stay locked in for. Okay, let's be 1 month. You got to stay in your house for 1 month. No one works. No one does anything. Everything. If you leave the house, you will be shot. So, and then that would have. My God. And then no one can leave the country. No one can come into the country for like 5 years. These are all things that I would have done if I was president. Lock down the country, can't leave your house or else you'll be shot. And then and then you can't, all that shit. But since that didn't happen and everybody's stupid, we have this deal now. Did you see how like the Texas Rangers are like, come on to the baseball game? It's 45,000 people. They're like, yeah, woohoo! Baylor wins a national championship, and all these stupid students who are going to kill us go running out of the field at the football field where they in Waco because they're watching it on the big screen. They're going, yeah, let's go. All right, yeah, let's spread the disease. So then, and then there's the idea of that there's this big surge going on right now, and everybody is like, yeah, we're blaming it on youth sports. All you fuckers that said, let them play. It's all your fault. It is, you did this all. You brought it on yourselves. And now everybody's got to pay the price. Holy shit. Half of that is tongue in cheek. The other half, I mean it. So, all right, take it or leave it. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, my personal adventures, and my personal, loud, obnoxious opinions, which hopefully at some point you'll go, you're so full of shit. Shut the fuck up. And you'll send me an email saying, Zane, you're just a jackass. What the hell is wrong with you? That's what it's all about. Okay. If you could, would you go and subscribe, rate, and review to this audio podcast on either Apple Podcasts? That's the best one you can subscribe, rate, and review to. We actually get internet points with that. So I recommend, 5 stars and then just a couple sentences, either good or bad. Okay. I don't care if you say anything bad, just as long as you say something and you subscribe to the audio podcast. Even if you don't even get the show via the audio podcast, I want you to subscribe to the audio podcast. That helps your old pal Eric. On Facebook, you watch it live. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Thank you so much. If you could, share that thing. All right, share it. And then like it. And then what else? What else do you have to do? I don't know. Watch it. Facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. On Twitter, a Periscope video brought to you by Blue Frost IT, who's hosting Tech Tuesday tonight with Alan. Okay? Alan, tonight, Tech Tuesday, it will be going down. Another fun-filled, riotous time will be had for another version of Tech Tuesday. Blue Frost IT, thanks to them for sponsoring Twitter. If you could, retweet it with a snarky, stupid comment. Something ridiculous and mean is what is preferred. Thank you so much. YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. You can just, of course, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, thumbs up. Thank you so much. But that's brought to you by F45 in Byron Center, Michigan. All this useless, pointless, long, drawn-out, boring information can be found at ericzaneshow.com. And, of course, on Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. I spent a good portion of the day. I'm putting all of my effort into this, into not making an ass out of myself, to be on Who Are These Podcasts coming up. We're going to record on Saturday, April 10. It'll be released on Sunday, April 11. Myself, Kyle, and Andy will be doing the show. If you have not yet listened to the show, it's right up my alley because as they pick apart shitty podcast, my shitty podcast, in their opinion, not yours, hopefully, was ripped apart on there once, and I actually enjoyed the critique, and actually I learned quite a bit because Carl and Andy, who were the ones who ripped me a new one, they actually have very, very good ears about what's right, what's wrong, and sometimes I do my podcast, and I don't. It's not exactly the most professional thing. I realize that, and you hear them say, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing, man? Come on!" I'm like, "Shit, all right, fine, you got a point there." So that's now the show that we are reviewing is called, what is it called again? Oh, God. I don't even remember, but I listened to a lot of it yesterday. It is, oh my God. The guy who's hosting it is a young man named Jamar. Let's Talk Podcast. Oh God. And the thing is, it's actually hard to find this podcast. And, okay, Carl sent me a text. Let Me Tell You Podcast, hosted by Jamar. Let Me Tell You Podcast. He's got like he actually makes music, Jamar does. And he makes his own music for the intro music and the outro music of his podcast. And I don't want to spoil anything, but this is the most random, fucked up thing I've heard in a long time. And I spent a great deal of time listening to it and curating clips and formulating thoughts on this thing. And then rubber's gonna meet the road on Saturday for the Let Me Tell You podcast. You won't hear it live unless you subscribe to Carl's Discord. He'll be doing it live on his Discord. Who Are These Podcasts? If you want to sign up for that, you can actually hear it when we do it live. And then he'll publish it on Sunday with your old pal, Eric. So on this show, we sit there and we play the clips. We rip this guy a new one. We roast him. I'm like, how the hell does anybody even listen to this shit? It's that rough. And then I have been saddled with the task of ripping Chad Zumach apart, which works out because I've been wanting to kick this guy's ass for quite some time. There are so many things to park on, so many audio clips that I have, and it's almost consuming. There's almost too much to get to about both the Let Me Tell You podcast and Zumach. It's like a 2-3 hour podcast. So one of the things I'm gathering is the amount of time it takes to make this podcast. Because if you're Carl curating all this shit and formulating your plan, and he has a pretty high production value on his show, my God, this is a full-time job. And I said to him, I go, Carl, I'm just a guest coming up with shit, and I'm probably going to put in 5 to 10 hours this week alone. I imagine you do 20, 30, 40 hours a week. I mean, how do you get it all done, first of all, for one show, and I think he might even have a secondary job. I don't know if he needs full on another job, because Who Are These Podcasts is, I think, starting to get him some money, which is really cool. But if you can't tell, I love the show. It's a lot of fun, and I think you're going to enjoy it when your old pal Eric is on this show. And this is really, really good for this podcast. Me being on Who Are These Podcasts, what that does is that introduces your old pal Eric to a number of other people who, well, frankly, heard me before on that show and went, my God, this guy's a fucking idiot, because Carl's roasting me a new one. However, I'm hoping that if I can do well on the show, that we'll be able to get new people into following this podcast. So, all right, we'll see. If not, it's still just a whole lot of fun, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. So last night, holy shit, Baylor wins the national championship. Oh my God, they kicked Gonzaga's ass. Gonzaga's ass. Gonzaga, I mean, they come in this game pretty much blowing everybody up, with the exception of UCLA. So Baylor is also very, very good this year. But this is like 1 versus 2. Baylor was a number 1 seed in their region, but overall in the national rankings, it's 1 versus 2. Well, Baylor shows up and opens up the game on a 9-0 run. I think they were up like 13-4, and then they just kind of kept the pedal down the whole game. You know, it got to as high as 19 points in the first half, and then I'm like falling asleep at halftime. I made it to about 14 minutes remaining in the second half. Baylor was still up by 12, 13, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to roll the dice and say there's no way this is going to be some fairy book ending comeback for Gonzaga, and Baylor is going to win this thing, and boy, did they. Just kicked their ass. My gosh. I mean, that just goes to show you, you know, how hard it is to win all your games, because Gonzaga was undefeated coming into this damn thing. And then they, last team to do this was 1976, win all of their games and then win the national championship. There have been several that have come close, but no. And Gonzaga exposed, and Baylor beat the shit out of them. This is the coach for Baylor. The guy's name is Scott Drew. And so the team's there kind of like doing their thing, having the big celebration. There's all the confetti coming down. Everybody's losing their mind. Baylor.
The rebuild the best in college basketball history. We played the soundbite of you at your introductory press conference saying that you were coming to Waco to win a national championship. And here it is. What did it take to do that?
I prayed about it. I felt led. God has blessed us with unbelievable players. The people that have come for 18 years to put in work. Our fans that have been with us for the lean years, the good years.
The sex scandal.
Our administration, President Livingstone, Mac Rose. The sex scandal. They all deserve this. The city of Waco deserves this. Hey, Texas, we got a national championship too. The state deserves it.
Listen to this guy yell.
It's just the second ever in men's basketball for the state of Texas with Texas Western. But you look at
when they did a movie, Texas Western,
Yes,
Glory
they
Road.
did.
And
Glory
John
Road.
Lee Hancock promised us when we won a national championship, we were getting a movie. Yeah!
Oh my God, that guy is fired up. So they win, and then that is that. Great tournament, both for the ladies and the men. And holy crap, I can't believe that they pulled it off. You know, last year at this time, we had no tournament. And so that is that. That puts the wraps on that. Okay, my new favorite baseball player. Well, it's between that gigantic Japanese dude. What the hell is his name? Shohei something? Showtime? I don't remember his name. We talked to him yesterday. He's an enormous giant man, 6'4". Shohei something or other. Shohei Ohtani. But my second favorite baseball player, probably my first actually, is this guy for the Tigers, Akil Baddoo, who in the first game of his major league career on Sunday, I think it was Sunday, might have been Saturday, I don't know. He first pitch, first swing in the big leagues, he hits a home run. His mom and dad are going crazy in the stands. It was awesome. So that was cool. Yesterday, Baddoo, the Tigers are getting destroyed by Minnesota. It's 15-2, but the Tigers managed to load the bases, and this guy comes up to the plate again.
You're a visiting manager. You start wiggling a little bit, even though the score is what it is.
The 2-1 drifted to deep left field.
Sure
Way
enough.
back. Are you kidding me?
Sure
the
enough.
fairy tale continues.
I love this. That was great. You know, and his mom and dad again. Now, they were a little bit more subdued, which is cool. And so was he in his celebration because his team's getting his ass kicked. So he's smart enough to not make a big deal about the grand slam home run because your team is losing badly, and they ended up not coming back anymore and ended up falling to Minnesota. But I like that. The guy cranks out another home run, doesn't lose his mind, acts like he's been there before. Mom and dad are cheering him on, but a little bit wonky because the team sucks in this game. But I love this story. You know, this is the type of stuff that's going to bring me back to baseball. Okay? Very, very cool. Hanging out here in the household, minus the Queen of the Forest, minus Princess of the Forest, Madison. It is just the NFK and myself. My brother-in-law, Kevin. Okay. So, just a quick story about some of the inappropriate things that he says for the wrong reasons. He really likes these science shows. You know, like you see him all the time on TV, like Drain the Great Lakes or, I don't know, something on the Discovery Channel or the Weather Channel, something about the Earth or the planets, you know, like stuff that I like, which is cool. And I see him watching a show, which gets my attention right away. It's one of these, it's like a lot of computer animation of various things that have happened. And they're covering that some asteroid strike that happened, I think, somewhere in Russia back like 100 years ago or something like that, or 150 years ago, and all the trees were laid flat, and this big-ass thing blew up over the Earth. And so they're talking about that, and there's other various things about things flying in from space and hitting the Earth and stuff like that. So I love that shit, as you know. We've talked about that many times. Well, hell, what I just said, I love that shit, is kind of like what he said. Maybe he's rubbing off on me because I look at him, I go, "Oh, Kevy, I love these shows." And he goes, "What these shows about science?" Yes, I say. He goes, "Man, I love these motherfuckers." Which, oh man, I love these motherfuckers. The fuck? Yeah, I love these motherfuckers too. They're great. These are great motherfuckers. These motherfuckers are just some amazing shows. I love these motherfucking asteroid shows. So, okay, I knew he was getting into it too, because I'm in the other room, and he's still watching this motherfucker, and I all of a sudden, I don't know what I was doing, but I can't see him, but I can hear him, and I can hear him talking. He's now speaking. He's reacting to what he's seeing. So there's, I don't know what the hell they're covering. Something spectacular, no doubt, because I hear, "No shit. Holy motherfucker. Son of a bitch. Oh shit. Fucking man, motherfucker." And he's just blown away by these facts, these science facts, or whatever the fuck they're talking about. And he's like muttering to himself in awe, but he's vocalizing it. And I'm just like, oh my God. Holy crap. Just another day in the life in the NFK. So, all right, welcome to each and every one of you. Hope you're doing okay. Remember, the vaccine passport is the way to go, as we all need to be forced to be vaccinated, and then we cannot travel until we get the vaccination. That's a hard and fast rule that has to happen. That's just my opinion. The open of the Eric Zane Show podcast and the live stream brought to you by several of my sponsors. First of all, thanks to Bennett Flooring Installation, 616-318-0167. It's real simple. If you want to install the flooring, have them do it. They don't have to do everything. That's going to save you money. You can go ahead and rip the old stuff out if you want. Get it ready to be installed. You can even go ahead and buy whatever flooring you want and get it ready. And then Bennett shows up. Jacob and Jason are both, if you're lucky. And these handsome gentlemen will measure the room and then determine the amount of work it's going to take for them to install your floor expertly. By the end of the day, you've got the estimate. You say, that sounds reasonable, more reasonable than anybody else. And then it is installed by the pros at Bennett Flooring Installation. Okay, that's how it works. If you are in West Michigan, get that estimate free, 616-318-0167. Have them come out, take a little bit of time, and they will measure, and then off they go. 616-318-0167, Bennett Flooring Installation, or BennettFlooringInstallation.com. Okay. When it comes to lubricants, the lubricant slinging Jason Mays from JM Synthetics, jmsynthetics.com. Go there, pick out what you want. The thing that helps Jason the most is if you pick out what you want at jmsynthetics.com and then you call him up. Hey, I want to put in my order. I know that's old school, but it works. 616-747-0233. That's 616-747-0233. This information, the phone number is right at jmsynthetics.com. You can also buy this stuff in person at one place, Hillbilly Central, Ionia Outdoors. You can buy a Trump flag and then buy some AMSOIL. I have no idea if the first part of that is true. I'm just assuming because it's in Kickerville, Ionia Outdoors. I'm probably right on that. I would say I am 95% chance of joke landing because that is true. Let's see here. Having an NFK-gasm is what is being described, I guess, of the NFK muttering to himself like that. Kenny says the NFK is rubbing off on me. That I personally believe. Jason Schaefer says, we got our oil yesterday, JM Synthetics. Thank you. Terry says, I heard the vaccine passport is a number tattoo that they put on you, so not that bad. I agree. We should absolutely do that. I have no problem with that. If the government came along and said, we need to all have a vaccine passport of a number tattooed onto our arm, then I would do that. I would absolutely do that. How do you guys feel about that? Hey, Mitchell Kiesler, the tarantula farmer, he gets his first shot today. All right. That is awesome. Congrats to you. Hopefully you'll get a tattoo. All right. So here we go. Let's see. Where am I right now? I'm completely confused. What was I just talking about? Okay, JM Synthetics. And then also in that part of the area, Saranac, Michigan, BK Guns and Stuff, 616-902-2447. That's 616-902-2447 if you need to get your weaponry repaired from anywhere in the United States. Get to their Facebook page by going to mine and then click where it says BK Guns and Stuff. All right? BK Guns and Stuff, 616-902-2447. So have you been following this story about, you probably haven't, but I mean, I haven't. A rapper by the name of DMX. Now, DMX is about my age. He's just a little bit younger. He turned 50 on December 18th, 1970. He is, as of right now, in a vegetative state, and he is probably going to die. He's in the hospital. We're not really sure how he got into that vegetative state, but most seem to think that it has to do with a drug overdose or something like that. Okay, now, I'm not familiar with even a bit of his music. I was into rap, but much older rap, like Run DMC and shit like that. DMX, he made his debut in 1998, so that was well off of my radar. So I don't have any idea about him. However, he's one of the best-selling rappers of all time. In 1998, he It's Dark and Hell is Hot in 1998 sold 251,000 copies within its first week of release. Well, this is the problem, though. DMX is a lifelong criminal, okay? I mean, like a lot. And there has been nothing but shit that has followed this guy throughout his life, okay? Because I don't really want to say anything bad about DMX when he's dead, okay? So we got to get this in because more than likely he's going to die. So the only way to do this is to do it while he's still breathing. And now all I'm basing this on is I just did a little bit of research as to who DMX is. And when you pull up his bio, one of the things it says is legal issues or something like that. And so, you know, I'm thinking to myself, that could be just a couple of things, you know, and it is. It's just like 4 lines, okay, of trouble. But then I scrolled down a little further, and they've even broken it. It's so much legal trouble that they've broken it down into eras. Holy shit. Everything from drug offenses to even as minor as traffic stops to animal cruelty to tax fraud. This guy, holy shit, is this guy a problem? He has always been a problem. Earl Simmons was born just after 5 months after your old pal Eric Zane. Okay? As a child, let's see. Simmons went through a disjointed childhood and included being beaten by his mom. So all sorts of shitty stuff happened to this guy. It's probably why he turned out the way he did. All right. I think he was put in jail, and then he ended up escaping at some point. In fact, legal issues. DMX was first sent to prison in 1986, so when he was 16, after stealing a dog from a junkyard. Okay, a lot of his crimes center around animals, so this is going to piss. A lot of people are going to be like, fuck this guy. He was sentenced to 2 years in a juvenile, in a juvenile detention facility at a part of a prison in Valhalla, New York. However, 2 weeks after starting his sentence, him and his cellmates successfully actually escaped from prison. And so he went back to his house. And the mom, who used to beat the shit out of him, forced him to turn himself back in to finish the sentence. He did. So he gets out 2 years later. Then he was sent to prison again in 1988 for carjacking. Moved to a higher security prison after attempting to extort a fellow inmate for drugs. Released summer of 1988. Then it says 1998, 1999. Weapons possession. 1999. Animal cruelty. Dozens of pit bulls found at his home there. It doesn't say necessarily dog fighting, but you got to wonder. The charge was dismissed after the performer agreed to accept responsibility and record public service announcements for an animal rights group. This is ridiculous because this crops up again with DMX. Like several years later, the same damn thing happened. And they ended up saying, all right, just record some public service announcements. So he just says, hey, I'm DMX. We got to be kind to animals. And then that was it. But they would let him off. Okay. Marijuana possession. Who cares about that? Driving under the influence. January 2002. He pleads guilty to 13 counts of animal cruelty. He plea bargained down to fines, probation, and community service, and again starring in public service announcements about animal abuse. So this is the second time they've let him do this shit. That's bullshit. In June 2004, he was arrested at JFK International Airport, cocaine possession, and a number of other weapons charges, criminal impersonation, driving under the influence, while claiming to be a federal agent and attempting to carjack a vehicle. How the fuck does this guy get away with all this shit? If this were you or I, we'd be in prison for a long, long time. He was given conditional discharge in 2004, but pleaded guilty to violating parole. All right, short sentence, released on good behavior. May 2008, again, arrested on drug and animal cruelty charges after attempting to barricade himself inside his Arizona home. They're not really giving the details of the animal cruelty, so you can just imagine. That's a pretty heavy charge to drop on somebody. It's got to be serious. DMX pleaded guilty to charges of drug possession, theft, and animal cruelty. Sentenced to 90 days in jail. Oh, my God. This is 08 through 11. More arrests for speeding, driving under the influence. 2013, same thing. This guy is a fucking dirtbag. Always has been. I don't know how he has time to even make music, because if you look at this, the entry of it, it seems like he's constantly spending his time getting in trouble than actually doing anything productive. In July 2017, DMX was charged because he doesn't pay his taxes. Oh, my God. Now this, they're going to lock you up for. Federal prosecutors charged him with failing to file income tax returns for 5 years. That's what the NFK did. Holy shit, they're going to bust the NFK. DMX pleaded guilty to a single count of tax fraud in November of 2017, originally free, pending all sorts of shit. He ended up going to prison for this. Supervised release. And then there's this whole business about what happened to him. He was apparently, when he in this latest thing that happened to him, he was found, and they did life-saving measures to try to keep him alive for like 30 minutes. So it is likely that his brain had very little oxygen going to it for extended time, thus the vegetative state. So I don't know. As of right now, he might even be dead. Is DMX dead? Not yet. DMX, not yet dead. Now they're saying heart attack. Heart attack, drug overdose, we don't know. Some are saying it's definitely a heart attack. Then there's like, oh, no, we don't want to say that. It's actually, maybe it was a heart attack that was brought on by drugs. I don't know. But this guy, they're doing a lot of shit about, LL Cool J writes, it's only right that we celebrate the talent and genius of my brother DMX. This guy is a fucking felon who, with all of the shit that he has pulled, if he died, this isn't bad for society. This guy is an asshole. He is the absolute worst. This is the type of thing that if something like that happens to a fucking scumbag like this, you just kind of like don't say anything. If you want to support him, you're better off just not saying anything. Seriously, this guy is an absolute menace. And if he stays in a vegetative state, the world is safer because of that. Holy crap. What a disaster this guy is. All right. Hey, I got merch. You can check it out, and it is available at ericzaneshow.com. Just click on merch if you're a fan of DMX. Wouldn't you want to wear an Eric Zane Show podcast t-shirt? Get it there. They're about $20. There is a stupid shipping charge that goes with it. Not my choice. Enjoy your gear. I'm getting ready to post the colorized version of the Podcaster comic book cover t-shirt, and I haven't yet done that. Thank you to John, the psychopathic magician, for putting that together for me. Thank you. All right. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage says, get a mortgage, okay? You know, I mean, seriously, if you have one right now, take a look at what you're in interest. If you're, all right, oh my God, 3.85. Zane's talking about low twos. You could qualify for that and save yourself big money. The market right now is just bonkers. What with homes selling so fast and people just dying to get mortgages. And frankly, there's more realtors actually than there are homes right now. So it is absolutely a seller's market. Go get that mortgage through the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. 231-332-6505. I heard one tip on the news that if you're looking for a home, first of all, get your mortgage. That's the first thing you do. Second of all, when it comes to buying a house, look at one that's a little bit less than what you want to spend, because you're probably going to get in a bidding war, because homes are just hard to come by. And that first price that they have there, that's just the opening bid. Home buying has turned into frickin' eBay, for God's sake. 231-332-6505 for my friends at the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. So whether your credit is absolutely great or whether it is in the dumper, you can take advantage of this with the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Hey, when it comes to working out, I go to F45 in Byron Center, Michigan, and I want you to go there too. The 45-minute workout, it is an absolute lung burner. Misery loves company. You're going to do all these great exercises that are going to be led by a group leader. You've got the animation on the wall telling you what to do. Go, start, go for 35 seconds, rest for 10 seconds, bring the water, a lot of it, and get ready to work at F45 in Byron Center, Michigan. Go to their website, f45training.com/Byron Center, and sign up for 1 week free and try it out for yourself, and you will love it. Okay. Perfect time to get the pistol training so you can carry your pistol concealed. I can't stress this enough. I really loved Cole's email of the day yesterday when he said, we have a responsibility to keep ourselves safe. Okay? Any more gun restriction laws will not do a damn thing for the bad guys. The bad guys are going to find a way to do crazy shit and try to hurt you. I don't care if they change every law on the books. The bad guys are still going to try to hurt you. So what the fuck are you going to do? Run away? What are you, nuts? No. You've got a pistol on you. You've got the ability to defend yourself. Get a pistol license so you can carry that thing concealed, man. Prince Arming, 616-204-1705. There's classes coming up in May, 616-204-1705, or click on the Prince Arming logo at ericzaneshow.com. It'll take you to his Facebook page. Click on the events tab. Look around on the page, there, his Facebook page, and then on the events tab, it'll show you the classes. Sign up there. The class is $125. This is the first step to getting your pistol license. You don't even need to own a gun. You can borrow a gun there for the range time that when you shoot. But, man, I'm telling you, this is the very first thing that you must do. Prince Arming, 616-204-1705. Okay. Not far where I live, there's hillbilly communities that surround me. And there's this one guy, Jed Hall, who used to be a fan of the show, and now he is not. He's kind of an adversary now, and he's been busting me on Facebook every time I make one of those posts that I tell you all what the fuck is up, and then you all get butthurt and send fucking nasty shit on there. Jed is one of these COVID-denying, anti-mask dickheads who every time I post something on there, he's one of the loudmouths taking me to task, which is fine. I don't mind that, but that's just the way it is now. But there was what did I do? I posted the post on Friday when I got in that Facebook fight over the mask picture with me, the NFK, Jackie, and Justin. And I said, foot up your ass, coming for the COVID-denying anti-vaxxer snarky comment that gets posted here, which is a troll and me just being me. But everybody then what they do is instead of playing along, they write shit like, "You're such a loser. This is why you can't keep a job." Stupid shit that isn't even creative. It's just bullshit, And Jed's one of those assholes. So I go out of my way to then fire back because I'm not going to take that shit. And I usually, pick my spots appropriately. And one of the things I focused on was shit kicker towns like Borculo and Dorr and Hastings and Hopkins. That's where the hillbillies live, and they're not far away. Now, I'm not saying all the hillbillies are bad people at all, but this does exist. This is a thing. One of those communities is Wayland. Wayland is probably the epicenter of white trash behavior. Okay, not all of them, but there's plenty of it. And you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. So Wayland has this guy, this king and queen of white trashism, are now in the news because for the last 2 years, cops say that these two scumbags have been running a massive, prostitution ring in the town out of like a house in a neighborhood. So this fucking scumbag, who in his mugshot, he's one of these guys with no neck. He's a big fat ass slob, and his ugly, I don't know who the hell if that's just his partner or wife or girlfriend. She's some whore. These two are running a sex trafficking ring. They entice women, young women, to be hookers, and then they facilitate the meetings. Okay, they help arrange them. This is what cops say. All alleged, of course. I wish I could just say flat out they did it, but cops say they did it. And I am a little confused why it took 2 years, but the cops have been investigating these two for that long. And this is how they did it. This is how they finally cracked it. To me, if it takes cops 2 years to do this, it seems to me like the Wayland cops, these might be those idiot cops who all you need is like a 5th grade education to be a cop in Wayland. I'm not sure, but this chief seems like a dumbass. Check this story out.
Details now about a sex trafficking ring in Wayland involving dozens of sex workers. After a 2-year police investigation, police think these are two of the people behind it.
News 8's Heather Walker dug up the search warrants and is sharing what they revealed tonight. Heather, good evening.
Donovan and Sue, that stack of search warrants show this operation involved more than 50 sex trafficking victims conducting business at a Wayland home and motels in the Grand Rapids area.
For our city, it's a large operation. I hope there's nothing bigger going on than this.
Okay, now this is a chief, and you can just hear the stupidity. So you know this guy isn't the brightest ball.
Home and motels in the Grand Rapids area.
For our city, it's a large operation. I hope there's nothing bigger going on than this. So, it's quite a save.
Search warrants reveal that during
years.
nearly 2 years, there were close to 6,000 prostitution ads offering slumber party or erotic body rubs. One ad titled, "Hosting in Wayland, XO, location, downtown Wayland." The same 2 phone numbers associated with all the ads, numbers that trace back to this house on West Maple Street, the home of Robert Grigsby.
Hey Rob, Heather Walker with Wood TV.
Okay, hold on. Heather Walker was stalking the house out, waiting to see signs of life in this shit house, okay? And this fat fuck opens the door to grab the mail, which is just outside of the door. The mailbox is on the house, and she springs into action.
With all the ads, numbers that trace back to this house on West Maple Street, the home of Robert Grigsby.
Hey Rob, Heather Walker with Wood TV. So police are saying that you had 50 prostitutes working for you.
Grigsby declined to comment.
That's the door slamming.
He, along with Vanessa Phillips, are now charged with sex trafficking, accepting earnings from prostitution, and conspiracy to conduct a criminal enterprise. According to investigators, bank records show more than $5,000 spent on motel rooms over a 10-month period. At the home, police documented 135 different vehicles during 41 days of surveillance. The owners of the vehicles had addresses in Michigan, Florida, Texas, Illinois, and Minnesota.
Officers patrolling didn't notice that this house, this house has a lot of traffic.
Well, it's like a drug house or anything.
Okay, now this is weird because she says to him, you didn't notice that for 2 years this house had a lot of traffic? And then I'm a little confused on this.
A lot of traffic.
Well, it's like a drug house or anything. I mean, cars pull up and they're a half an hour and gone. So you come around the loop and an hour later you make your rounds again. Do you notice that there's 2 different cars parked there than there was the hour before? And the next time, do you notice that there's 2 different cars parked there than it was? So,
right. Exactly. You just said it. That's what it should have tipped you off. So for 2, don't you guys have a fucking briefing like Hill Street Blues? All right, guys, we're starting to think that this house might have some trouble. We're taking with all these other clues about all these for the last 2 years. Come to Wayland, get fucked by a sex trafficking worker and all this shit. You've got all this information, and you guys are like, we can't crack the case. I mean, he just said it, didn't he? So how did they not know?
And the next time, do you notice that there's 2 different cars parked there than it was? So, it's nice to be able to say, well, we should have seen this a lot sooner, but I can tell you, this is happening in every community, someplace, somewhere.
Okay, wait a minute. So you just said you notice all the traffic. And then you said, but this is happening everywhere else. What does that have to do with basic police instinct that there's something going on there? I mean, the whole area isn't exactly the fucking nicest part of the area of West Michigan. So you didn't detect anything, and he explained how you do it in the police work, but then he says, oh yeah, but it's happening everywhere. That doesn't make it right, or that doesn't explain how you didn't know,
Yeah, this is happening in every community.
Very weird.
Someplace, somewhere.
So that means you don't say anything? What the fuck is wrong with this cop?
The center of this investigation is a minute drive from the police department in a city.
Wait a minute. It's 1 minute away from the police station. And these idiots don't know yet?
The home at the center of this investigation is a minute drive from the police department in a city that is 3 square miles. Police say this operation dates back to at least 2016.
Did the police department receive?
I thought it was like 2 years. 2016? So for 5 years, you dumb fucks haven't known that this fat ass is sex trafficking, and he's got his own personal whorehouse, and he's paying for because the way they're doing it, supposedly, according to the affidavit, they recruit women, and these are the pimps. They pay them out. They take care of where they're going to be. They're sending them to places to have sex, and then getting the money, and then they take a big cut of it, and then they pay the sex worker a little bit. I mean, that's how this goes. And so for 5 years, this is going on. 1 minute from the police station, and you idiots don't know.
A lot of tips or complaints about this home.
Okay, this is important.
Police say this operation dates back to at least 2016.
Did the police department receive a lot of tips or complaints about this home?
Not as many as I would like. We found that when we did an investigation at the house, that neighbors came up and said, well, it's about time. And we said, about time for what? And they said, well, we kind of knew something. And I said, well, it's funny that people will pick up the phone and tell you about a dog running loose, but they won't pick up the phone and say, this is pretty strange.
Okay, so he's blaming them. And you've just said on TV how police work works, and then you didn't do any of those things.
Grigsby and Phillips are due back in court for a probable cause hearing on Thursday. We plan to be there and let you know what happens. Reporting in studio, Heather Walker, News 8.
This chief is an idiot. My God. The chief is an idiot, and I'm just amazed that they were able to do this for that long. Holy crap. I think we've got an asshole of the day nominee right there in that chief. The people are like, hey, it's about time. Yeah, well, you should have called. I mean, we didn't know. I mean, we're 1 minute away from this fucking whorehouse where dozens of young girls are being trafficked in and out. There's no way we could have figured this out. They've got evidence from years now that there's something going on there. If Wood TV8 can crack the case, how the fuck can you not know this? My God. This one says, from Incognito, if it's the job of the citizens to make arrests, then give back their tax money you get paid for. Well, Wayland's a shit show, okay? This community, again, this is the epicenter of butt-fuckedness. These are absolute morons, all right? If you live there and you're not a moron, get out. Get the fuck out of there. Holy crap. I agree with Josh when he says police cannot be everywhere. We as civilians have a civic duty to call in if we suspect anything. That's absolutely true. I'm not saying that the civilians there are without fault there. They're all idiots, frankly. But still, this chief, I'm hearing him, first of all, the excuse, you see cars go in and out there all the damn time. And then he should say, we should have moved on that hunch. That's police work. A lot of times you're just going to follow. Boy, that's something's fishy right there. Your job is to be suspicious of everything. And if that appears to be what happened at a drug house, you're going to start poking around and maybe open up some type of investigation. Okay. But you didn't. And all you said, asshole, was, yeah, this happens everywhere else, so we're not so bad. Fuck you. You're an idiot. You could just hear it in his voice that this is an absolute hillbilly shithead. My God. Really, really sad. All right. Moving on. Jeopardy began with Aaron Rodgers. And let me just say, the trolling that happened to Aaron Rodgers on the show Jeopardy was to a point where it actually made me start to like him. And it was something you kind of have to see, okay? And it involves he's hosting, doing the Trebek job, and cleans up real nice, by the way. Handsome devil there, got his nice suit. He's got his hair fixed, sweet, and he's doing the final Jeopardy question where you bet a certain amount of money and you ask it and you got to write in your answer, okay? So the contestant ends up getting this wrong, and he doesn't know the answer. So what he does is he writes something down that pertains to the NFC Championship game that the Packers lost. Now, if you recall, in that game, as the minutes were winding down, On fourth down, they went for a field goal instead of going for a touchdown. And that proved to be a big problem. And some say it was a contributing factor to them losing the game, going for the field goal instead of going for the kicking the field goal instead of going for the touchdown. Okay, so with that as a background, bit of information, this is what happened when Rodgers says, oh, okay, I'm going to reveal your answer, and then he has to read the guy's answer as it appears on the screen.
Over to our two-day champion on the end. Scott, did you come up with the correct response? Who wanted to kick that field goal?
Holy fuck.
That is a great question. Should be correct, but unfortunately for this game today, that's incorrect.
I love that because who wanted to kick that field goal? And then he just puts his head down and he's like,
Over to our two-day champion on the end. Scott, did you come up with the correct response? Who wanted to kick that field goal? That is a great question. Should be correct, but unfortunately for this game today, that's incorrect.
Oh my God, that is awesome. That is awesome. Hang on a second here. Let's. I'm going to try to bring in Stu here. I'm losing track. It's just a perfect opportunity. It's always a good time to talk to Stu. Stu, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. He's going through some interesting things in his life, and I think he may be getting ready. I think he's got another new job, and I'm hoping to God he answers. Come on, Stu. We got to get a life update from Stu. You know, there's a pretty good chance he's sleeping.
I've reached the phone of Stu McKell.
Because he said he was going to absorb himself into a bottle of liquor for like the next 2 days or 3 days. And I think he said that like 2 days ago. So there's a pretty good chance he's either sleeping one off or he's about as comatose as DMX. I mean, not that bad, but you know what I mean. What did John write? Okay. Amusing anecdote of the day. Office mate turns on his radio. Okay, so John's describing something from his office. Amusing anecdote of the day. My office mate turned on his radio. It was extremely loud for about 5 seconds. Someone with a low voice says something. Okay, so he's listening to the radio because the guy turned it on. Someone with a low voice says something, and the rest of the crew starts fake laughing. John writes, I say, sounds like free beer and hot wings are up to the same thing as usual. My office mate replies, that was Bob and Tom. And then John writes, so they truly have become Bob and Tom. Yeah, I can't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. That is just John's opinion on the matter. So, yeah, I'm confused. I guess it wasn't Bob and Tom then, and then the guy just thought it was because of the laughter. Is that what the suggestion is being made? Well, they're having a good time. What do you expect? Why, that sounds like fun to me, too. I just got to sit here and laugh to the dogs. I mean, come on, seriously. All right. Good for them. Hey, I want to put your business in front of the audience on the Eric Zane Show podcast. All you need to do is reach out to me with an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliner Striping inbox, okay? And say, hey, tell me how this works, Eric Zane. How can I be front and center with your audience with my business? You have a sign in the background if you like. You can have me talking about you and what you do at your business. It's all very, very simple. And all you need to do is reach out, and I will direct you to how it works and tell you all of the details of it. That doesn't cost you anything, just you reaching out and saying, hey, Zane, I'm thinking about it. But, of course, that's not commitment to anything. That's just you wanting information, which I then give that for you and write up kind of like a basic marketing plan of how it works on the Eric Zane Show podcast, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I'd love to have more people on the show. Thank you to Gift of Life Michigan. Controversy with Gift of Life Michigan. Those are words I thought I would never say. First of all, I have a podcast, a live stream podcast that I'm going to be doing with Val Cobbs from the National Kidney Foundation, Allison Gillum from Gift of Life, Michigan. Of course, I will be on it. And also Jeffrey, my pal Jeffrey, who I gave my kidney to. We are going to be doing a live stream podcast at 2:30 tomorrow. Okay. And it's kind of like a roundtable discussion about this. And I'm also using it as an opportunity for you to see and hear Jeffrey. And if you remember back to just prior to the kidney donation, Jeffrey sounded so unbelievably weak and ill. I mean, very, very quiet, and he had brain fog. But it was still very important to get him on the show. A, for him because he wanted to, and B, it gave you an idea, kind of like a baseline for what it had, the failed kidneys which he had, what it does to a person, and he was going to die. So then now you will hear how vibrant and energy filled he is. He is an absolute force now. What was a man who was quite literally on death's door and didn't have that long to live, is, oh my gosh, you can't shut him up. He is an absolute dynamo. And I cannot wait for this podcast to kind of like show that for what has transpired with Jeffrey since receiving the kidney. So, okay, but that's not the whole deal. The point of this all is because April 7th, tomorrow, is National Donate Life Day, okay? So that is the reason why I'm having these very, very important people with me to discuss organ donation. However, the one thing that I'm a little bummed out about, and they're trying to deal with it right now, I've been instructing you to go to the Gift of Life Michigan page through my website. There's a logo that looks just like the one over my shoulder. You click on it and it goes to a page. And it's like a frequently asked questions page with all sorts of useful information. And then it says registering is simple and takes less than a minute. In fact, let me screen share this thing so that you can see what's up. Where the hell is... Okay, let me screen share this thing so you can see what's up. Hang on. Sorry. Sometimes I do these things spur of the moment. Oops. Okay. There it is. Now, registering is simple. Takes less than a minute. Answer the 2 questions below. You'll either be redirected to the Secretary of State website or you'll be asked to fill out a form on this page. If you don't have a state ID, if you have a Michigan ID and you are not redirected automatically, please click the link to visit the Secretary of State website. Something's amiss here. It shouldn't be. Okay. So basically, it says, where did you find out about this? You click where it says Eric Zane Show Podcast, which it's weird because you click on the damn thing and then it kind of like, I'm not sure what is going on there. Something is funky with that navigation in that field. And then it asks, do you have a valid Michigan driver's license? Yes. And then you hit submit. And then it goes to like this page. And then it says, oh yeah, now you're being redirected over here. Just know this, something is wonky. That is what I know. Okay. So I can't tell you with confidence that this is what you need to do to register to be an organ donor. Okay. If you have this already, this heart on it, you are already. If it's on your state ID card or your driver's license. So I apologize for that. Someone is working on it, but just so you know, when it is up and running the way it's supposed to be, I will inform you. But still very, very important. Okay. Thank you to Gift of Life Michigan for being on board with the show. Okay. Renal failure is serious because it causes waste to get backed up in your body and makes your blood toxic. That is absolutely true. That is what Jeffrey was experiencing. His creatinine level, the waste product of your kidneys, is supposed to be at 1, and his was 22. 22! Because his kidneys had no function, and dialysis is kind of a catastrophe when it comes to getting people healthy. It's just a stopgap thing. And then when they installed the kidney, I've told the story before, but it's worth mentioning. It took 1 week, and his creatinine level was 0.98. Stevie says, I hate the new comments section. Okay. I'm going to do a poll, okay? Close the dang comments when you share your screen. Oh, I forgot to do that, didn't I? Sorry about that. My fault. I'm trying. I sometimes forget things. I'm going to do a poll. Should I leave the comments up or should I take them down? I should do that on Twitter. And then we can decide once and for all. Sorry. Josh says, couldn't agree more. Maybe he'll listen to you. LOL. Yeah, well, okay. You know, I'm kind of trying to. Some people love the comments. Some people hate the comments. Tio says they're great. Dirk says they're great. Chris says he hates them. I've got 3 people that hate it and 2 that like it. Joe says close it. Anybody else? You know what I can do is I'll close it on some days and leave it open on other days. Leave them up, but close them when you're screen sharing. Yeah, I know. I definitely got to do that. I like it, Rebecca says. Kenny says close it. Jason says I hate it. Tyler says I love it. Facebook has its own comment section, and so does YouTube. Well, yeah, but you see, those other people want to see all the comments. Tom likes it. Boy, we got a mixed bag there. It's a close fight. All right. Kate says, I don't even care anymore. Michael says, hate him. Eric says, love it. Kevin likes it. I fucking love it, man. I fucking love that, man. I'm getting hammered. Holy shit. Oh, fuck you.
Fuck off, I'm hammered.
I'd like to see what the dumb fucks on Facebook are saying, says Tyler. Oh. All right. Okay, where am I? Completely losing my train of thought. Speaking of Joe Martinez, Joe has a take, by the way, before I get to Joe's commercial. Joe is also a small business owner, just like Rick from TC Paintball. And this has kind of died down to some degree. But Joe Martinez is a small business owner, and Rick is a small business owner. So I guess in theory, Joe Martinez would be anti-raising the minimum wage, correct? I mean, if Rick's talked about minimum wage, he does not want a higher minimum wage. He doesn't want it to go up 50%. He's made that very clear. Does Joe Martinez feel the same way as a small business owner? This might surprise you. Joe writes this. A few weeks back, you were talking about the $15 an hour minimum wage. It's my turn to weigh in, and I'm going to tell you what's up. If wages were increased, it would not hurt the economy, Joe says. It would help. More tax dollars. He says the mentality of some saying it's going to make things more expensive. Well, let me give you a little bit of information, Joe says. In the heating and cooling industry, we deal with a lot of commodities, copper, sheet metal, refrigerant, etc. Now, we were averaging about a 1% to 2% increase per year before Trump. Then, when he started the trade war with China, those increases, which were 1% to 2% a year on those commodities, went to 6% to 7%, which isn't much, but still products cost while wages stay the same. Cost more while stay the same. Wages stay the same. Now, with the pandemic, we've seen increases on all goods anywhere from 10 to 20%, and wages stay the same. The air conditioner a couple of years ago would run about $2,400 to $2,600 to install. Last summer, it jumps to $3,000 to $3,100. Wages stay the same. So the people who think that raising wages would hurt really should do some research, says Joe Martinez. I responded, well, Joe, that's really interesting. I never thought to look at it that way. Joe doubles down. Says, so in theory, it would work with a higher wage. Otherwise, you price people out, and they can afford a living wage. And they can't afford a living wage. Hence, you have more in poverty. There is no real proof that it would hurt the economy. There seems to be more benefits to the economy. This theory that the Dems are ruining the economy is false, Joe says. It fits into the Republican agenda. Big corporations. Look at Georgia with voter rights. But it ultimately means both parties suck, plain and simple. But in any trade, you can hire someone under $15. And if you look around the country, most states and companies are starting out anywhere from $10 to $12 an hour already. And has it hurt the economy? No. Wow. Joe Martinez with some food for thought from A&E Heating and Cooling. There you go. That's some hard truth from Joe. He loves picking fights, by the way. He is an absolute fight picker. I'll let you guys bounce that one around between you. I know Joe is enjoying the podcast right now, and I know he's got his usual adversaries who are ready to tell him he's fucking nuts. So there you go. Kenny writes, good Lord, Joe always has to bring it back to blaming Trump for everything. No, he didn't, dummy. He said that Trump raised it to 6 to 7%, which isn't that bad. He didn't blame Trump. Are you dumb? Kenny, can't you listen to when I'm talking? It's like you're fucking like triggered. Holy shit. All right. I love stirring that pot with you guys. It makes me happy. Sounds like we need a sponsor. Debate about minimum for the debate about minimum wage. Rick versus Joe. Who's going to sponsor that shit? Kenny says Eric doesn't even know what he just read. Kenny, I know what I read if it comes from you, which usually means it's shitty. You can't make your opinions be as bad as your song lists for the insane asylum. My God. I just spent the day yesterday, Kenny, curating Cole's songs from Colorado Springs because they were excellent. I mean, why can't you be like Cole? Why do you always have to provide shitty music with the exception of Alcohol and by frickin' Hell Yeah? I mean, my God, what is wrong with you? Okay. Anyway, Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579. Reach out to him. This is what you do. He shows up at your house. He tells you about why the minimum wage should be higher, should be $15 an hour, and then he installs your furnace or your air conditioner using the Comfort Maker brand of air conditionings, which are quite a bit more expensive now because of the trade war and because of COVID. 616-516-8579. If you get in the weeds, do an after-hours service call. Get him up off the couch from watching Telemundo and drinking freaking Dos Equis, and he'll be at your house, probably with a designated driver. Just kidding. And he will take care of any problem that you have after hours. It's going to cost you $125, though, just to get him off the couch. So that ain't going to come cheap, but he's going to fix your stuff. 616-516-8579. It is time for the email of the day. Email of the day. I had it, and then I lost it. All right. This is from Lisa K. Now, Lisa K is her and her husband, Eric. In fact, Eric is watching right now. I don't know if Lisa is. She'll get it maybe later, or maybe she's listening right now or watching right now. I don't know. But her hubby, Eric, who is just a saint. Eric is kind of like a quiet contributor. Okay, Lisa is the vocal portion of the Lisa and Eric family. All right, and they were with us at Captain Bizarro's, helping out, and Eric, I noticed he was eyeing some video games because he's like a super big gamer, and he bought some classic retro, old school Mattel electronic games. Just great. Loves the show, buys the merch, hugely supportive. So he's on the mend right now. I want to wish him well because he's uncomfortable. But you know what? Frankly, I am just so happy that you are alive and not paralyzed. Seriously, you could be with DMX right now. And this was a terribly unfortunate thing that I found out about through an email. And this is your email of the day from Lisa, who has a great attitude about this. And she's jokey because he's okay. Well, he's uncomfortable, but he's going to live. So this is your email of the day, brought to you by my friends at Forever Lawn, West Michigan. Synthetic grass for your business or your home. foreverlawn.com/WMI. Subject. I got this on Monday. Christ rose from the dead yesterday, but my husband could have died. Hey, Eric. Just wanted to send you a message about my husband, Eric, and how our Easter ended. Started out great. Weather spectacular. Did some spring yard work, worked on some other projects. And then old E had to get on the roof. Yes, where this is going. Daylight was running out, and he wanted to get an antenna mounted on the roof. Okay, pause right there. For what? What the fuck? Is this, are you like a ham radio guy? A shortwave thing going on? A CB? What? Maybe you cut the cord, perhaps, and you're getting over-the-air TV, which a lot of people do. So, all right, there's that. He wanted to get an antenna mounted on the roof. Did he wait for me to help hand him the items that needed to go up there? No. Men are such dummies and don't listen to reason. She's right about that. Needless to say, he lost his footing right at the roof line, and down he went. Straight down. Flopped like a rag doll. I see all this happening before my eyes, and there was nothing I could do. Sorry that I said I was going to keep this short, but there's more. I had to tend to him on the ground and make sure he was still breathing as he hit hard. To sum it up, he landed on his left leg first, which caught his weight and buckled under him. Now, when I see buckled under him, I'm like, okay, just bent at the knee, the way it's supposed to go. No. None of that. No. We're talking, it sounded like my neck. In fact, I can create my own sound effect now. I'll put on the echo effect, and I'll put the microphone to my neck again, and hopefully I'll get a good. This is what Eric's neck sounded like, or his leg sounded like. It didn't work. Hang on. Okay, maybe the knuckles again. Maybe the knuckles will do it. This is what Eric's leg sounded like. Oh! That was your leg. You see, when I crack my neck in the morning, it takes hours for it to recharge. Sorry about the blue balls. Some of you love the cracks. Some of you don't. No, his leg it folded like a Portuguese man of war. Leg folded, buckled, caused him to go face first into the deck. Oh, no. You poor thing. He suffered a broken nose, and she wrote, and a few black eyes. Does he have more than two? Does Eric have 3 eyes that we don't know about? It pretty much shattered his lower left leg above the ankle. The bone is popping out of the skin. I don't know if that's the case, but it could have. After 2 ambulance rides, we ended up at Spectrum Butterworth Hospital in Grand Rapids, where a great team of surgeons put him back together. He has a long road of recovery ahead of him and more surgeries, but we are heading in the right direction. Oh, man, I'm sorry. It sounds awful. While I was waiting for him to get out of surgery, I thought, wow, this could have been so much worse. He could have fallen headfirst or on his back and had a broken back, or could have been paralyzed. Needless to say, our Eastern 2021 showed me who was looking out for us. He is risen. He is risen indeed. Please send some Zaniac love this way. Sincerely, Lisa. Oh, Eric, I am so sorry that happened to you, buddy. I hope you're doing okay. Got to keep your spirits up, buddy. That is rough. And I hope you have a complete and thorough recovery and as quickly as possible. And Incognito adds, Theismann still has nightmares about Lawrence Taylor. Man, all right, buddy. I'm okay, but my face broke my fall. Yikes. Hi, Lisa. I see you there. You guys are going to be okay. You want us to make meals or something like that? I mean, show mom Megan might take charge on something here. You want us to do something like that? Eric says they drilled holes in my bones. Yeah, they'll do a good job at putting you back together. Plates and shit like that. It depends on if it is, a lot of times if it's 1 or 2 breaks, they can go in there and titanium it up, and you've got plates for the rest of your life as it heals. And then callus forms over the plates and shit like that. But if it's shattered in like dozens of places, then you're lucky that they didn't end up cutting your leg off if you broke it any worse than you did. And who hasn't done what you've done, Eric? So I don't want you to feel bad about this. Like, oh my God. Andrea says, I like the crack sounds, but not while thinking of his knee. Sorry. Who hasn't done that though, man? Because I just recently, wind blew off a few shingles. I said flu. The wind blew off a few shingles. So, the tallest ladder I have, the very tip top where it says, do not stand here. That's where you have to put your feet in order to get on the roof. And that barely works because, when you're standing on there, it's all wobbly. And then I got to, push up with my hands like I'm like doing dips, I have to push up with my hands and then hike my leg up. I could very easily fall backwards because the pitch on the roof that I have is pretty intense. So, I get up there and then Diana hands me what I need. Well, actually I got a hammer and a little belt loop thing and a little pouch deal with the nails and the shingle. She hands me the shingle that I'm going to put up there that I've already cut to size. So I got the shingle in my hand, and now I got to get up to the spot, and it's right on a bend of the roof, it's one of those spots. It isn't just like one of the flat surfaces. So I got to get way up that damn roof, and oh my God, the idea of sliding down and just falling off was very real. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible, but I somehow made it. And then when you come back, you gotta put your feet on the very, very top of that damn ladder, which is bad news. That thing's wobbly. I go, Diana, hang on to it. And, but I wasn't like Eric. I wasn't dumb enough to do it with no one watching me. I go, you got to hang on to the ladder, and then you got to hit 9 and 1, and then have your thumb over the other one, and then hit 1, or actually just hit 911 and just have your thumb over the send button, okay? It isn't a landline phone. And just get ready to call in case I go down, because seconds are going to count. I need a taller ladder is what I need, okay? By the way, there is a home project that I'm planning. I'm planning on painting the outside of the house, the trim, which is going to be, oh, man, that is going to be, I'm going to screw that up, and it's going to be rough. I'm telling you that there's going to be stories there. If I can pull that off without doing anything stupid or getting hurt or screwing it up somehow, it'll be an absolute miracle. Last project like this, I had Pellerito help me. A rotted piece of trim, and he replaced it for me. But you know what he did? He spilled the paint on the roof. And there's still paint on the roof, and he felt so bad about that. his sugar was low, and he's eating these giant sweet tarts in order to get his sugar up. But he's up on the roof. I'm waiting for this guy to pass out and keel over and fall off my roof. Spills of paint everywhere. It's still, oh God, come on. I'll do it myself. Just kidding, Mike. Didn't bother me at all. But yes, the paint's still there. All right. Oh boy! Now Joe is in a war with various Zaniacs over the frickin' minimum wage. Yeah, hey, I had nothing to do with it. I'm just a messenger. Don't blame me. I had nothing to do with it. I just stirred the pot. All right, Asshole of the Day award. Who is going to be the asshole of the day? We've got a lot of great contestants because, it all goes back to, okay, DMX, I mean, he's going to die. I was trolling you about the vaccine passport. The sex traffickers, the husband and wife team, or the man and lady team, or the chief of police of the Wayland chief of police. How about him? Could it be the chief of police in Wayland? We'll find out. Hold on a second. Check the email real quick. Make sure we're good. Okay. All right. Nick says you rocking bridge troll status today, buddy. Thank you. Joe says, early bird, AC tune-up. I'd like to do a special till the end of the month. Anyone who schedules an AC tune-up between now and the end of the month will get it for $69. Normally it's $79. Appointments will be scheduled for the month of May. Okay? All right. So, but for between now and the end of April, it's very important that you call Joe at 616-516-8579 because it's going to save you $10 more for something that you have to get done for your AC in West Michigan. 616-516-8579. What you do is you call them up and say, hey, you dumb motherfucker, no way on the minimum wage. Eat shit. Get your ass to my house and tune up my AC for $69. Fuck you. And then hang up on him. That's what you do to Joe. He'll love it. He will love that shit. Okay. All right. Asshole of the Day coming up. Email is brought to you by Shoreliner Striping, shorelinerstriping.com. Shoreliners just signed up again, and I'm going to be stressing that they do field striping and they do parking lot sweeping as well. You got this big jet engine that kind of goes along the parking lot and sweeps out the parking lot. It's awesome. Shorelinerstriping.com. Thank you for being part of the show. Okay. It is Tech Tuesday tonight with Alan from Blue Frost IT. This is always a good time. So you nerds, you're out there. If you want to talk tech with Alan, you have anything at all that you have a question about your home tech, your work tech, updates, I don't know, firewalls, whatever nerd stuff you guys talk about, it happens tonight, 7 p.m. right here. I'll do a live stream of it brought to you by Blue Frost IT with Alan from Blue Frost IT. And if you have any tech questions at all, from something as simple as your laptop or your desktop or your home network or whatever it may be, you want to price out a new computer system. Let's say you work from home and you want to get a new computer system. Let's say you've got a kid who games like crazy and he's really good at it and he's a really good kid and a really good student. You want to set him up with an awesome gaming system. They can do that for you too. That's just one of the many services they have, not to mention managed IT support for your small or medium-sized business, which I utilize them. You pay them a service fee each month, and then they're in charge of your tech in case something goes south. They're boots on the ground. They can very quickly solve any of your problems, either remotely or in person. Or if your business is doing an upgrade, maybe they're moving or something like that, they need some network drops installed, complete upgrade on all of their systems, you can get a complimentary consultation from Blue Frost IT. So many services they have and many ways to reach them. You can call them 616-200-8550. You can also send them an email, info@bluefrostit.com. Thank you, Blue Frost IT. And last but not least this morning, Cornhole America. Get a new set of cornhole boards. You're going to make me very happy. A lot of people are doing fun stuff at home these days. Maybe they're going to travel to a destination, bring the cornhole boards for the party. Bring your customized cornhole boards with your beautiful family emblazoned on them. I kid you not. You can put anything on a set of cornhole boards. Now, if you want to buy the standard Cornhole America cornhole boards where it's just their logo, looks just like that one, it's going to cost you about $150, $160, okay? And these are professional grade. They're made here right in Cedar Springs, Michigan, and they can be shipped anywhere in the United States or the world for that matter, okay? CornholeAmerica.com. And it's going to last forever, for God's sake. These are professional grade. They slide the way the pros boards slide, and you can have that too. These aren't the garbage boards you spend $50 on at Meijer, for God's sake. But if you want to put whatever you want on a set of cornhole boards, okay, it's going to cost you just over $200. A little bit more for that, but man, it's awesome. Any logo you want, doesn't matter. You've got the Eric Zane Show podcast logo. I've linked that up on when you click on their logo at ericzaneshow.com, or when you get to their site, just type in Eric Zane Show in the search field, and then my boards will come up. It's me when I'm quite a bit younger. My hair is dark. It's when I dyed my hair. God, that was bad. My wife hated that. She hated when I dyed my hair. All right. CornholeAmerica.com. Thank you. All right. Asshole of the day. What's it going to be? I get horny every time you do this promo, EZ. Yeah, I'm a sick duck. Not sure what that means, Tom. Plot twist. What if the sex traffickers listen to DMX? Wayland sex traffic ring. Asshole of the day. Asshole of the day, DMX. The sex trafficking house people definitely need to be asshole of the day. Police squaw. Squaw? Get my vote. Wayland is literally 3 square miles in size. Sex ring leader, asshole of the day. Yeah, you can't say the cop, but the cop is pretty stupid. All right. Let's do that. Does it surprise anybody that this was said? Kenny's talking about he blocked Joe Martinez. You did? That's when I would normally come here, but I blocked Joe. But with those damn comments on the video, they still show up. So annoying. Oh, well, then that seals it. We are definitely going to keep the comments up. The decision was just made there. You heard it. Wayland sex ring. I'm just writing that down. It's your asshole of the day right there. With a couple of votes for the chief, I think. There you go. The Wayland sex ring is your asshole of the day, brought to you by TC Paintball and JM Synthetics. Thank you to those guys for sponsoring the segment. Okay. Excellent. That is it, man. A little lean on the time today. I understand that. I apologize. A little light on content. But still, hour and a half in the books. I appreciate you so much. We'll finish on the audio podcast with the Ride Into Work song. Don't quite know what that is. But there you go. That is the Eric Zane Show podcast for this, the 6th of April, 2021. The Patreon bonus will come up a little bit later. Thank you for being part of that as well. Thanks, folks. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.